Welcome back, everybody, to my world. We're here in the village, which we've spent the last couple of episodes building. But today, we're not going to do anything with all those structures. I'm going to instead mess with all the terrain around the village by building in some fields. The first one I'm going to do is literally right here, which makes me think it's a perfect time for a time lapse. Creepers are always a pain, but especially when you're building custom terrain, you gotta be careful to light up. Which in this case means going around and punching holes in all the moss I put down and putting carpets over the torches. It works, though it is a little funny to see from above and essentially the ground is just glowing. But not having mobs running around is more than worth it, which is why I'm doing this right here at night so I can easily see what needs to be lit up. Just one more right here, and then we can get back to training. Fields, especially small ones like this one, really do look better when they have a hedge or a wall or something running around them to really demarcate where they start and end. In this case, I'm using spruce leaves because they're nice and dark and very contrasty. Just kind of work my way around, putting in a roughly 2-block tall hedge. After that, we can move on to planting something in the field to make it more than just a big green rectangle. Well, it'll probably still be a big green rectangle, just a different shade than this moss color. Just gotta make sure this meets up with the road nicely. And we'll probably just do a little diagonal along here till it meets up with the other side. And here we are. Now just to put whatever it is that's going to grow in this field. I thought about doing another flower field like the pinkish purple field we already have. And I also thought about putting in a field full of firefly bushes, but I want to something that would go next to the wheat field and contrast a little bit. And the firefly bushes seemed a little bit too brown, much like the wheat field. And another field full of flowers quite so close might have contrasted too much. So I ultimately decided to go with short grass here. I also thought about making it tall grass, but I think tall grass is going to be a little bit too messy and chaotic, so short grass it is. And that's the end of that pair of shears. Let's get over here and start planting. Such riveting content, I know. But this field won't plant itself, so we gotta do it. I thought about using bone meal and even tried it a little bit, but honestly, it's a bit of a pain, and harvesting this myself and replanting it seemed like the easier option. That's mostly because you get a lot of stuff when you bone meal moss, like azalea trees and lots of other stuff, like tall grass, which I don't actually want growing here, so it's just plain easier to do it this way. And I'm almost out of grass. That's 6, 5, 4, 3, and I'm done. How about we scoot on out of here and go sleep the night away, and then get some more grass? That's 7 more stacks of short grass. I think that'll do us. Just gotta slurp these up and then get back above. I'm not tired of placing grass yet, but you might be, so let's slide on into a time lapse and finish this. Not looking too bad. I think it goes quite well next to the much more yellow wheat. Let's just hop up here and have a peek. Yeah, I'm liking this. Not bad at all. Oh, and maybe we won't climb up there. But if we step away, I still think it looks pretty nice. Yeah, I think that fits in quite well. Now, from here, we're gonna head all the way over to the other corner and start putting in some more fields. I want these fields, however, to be surrounded by stone walls. Mossy cobble, mossy stone brick, that sort of thing. So let's head up here and start putting it in. I ultimately want to put in a few different fields here, but I think for today I'll just mark out the boundaries of one. I'm starting to get low on stone bricks here. Probably have to get some more in a second, but let's just keep placing. And that is me out of stone bricks. But I'm back with some more, and now let's put down some moss to provide a better base for this wall so it's not quite so close to the backs of the row houses I've been building. In the future, I think I'll have to make a way so that the people who live in these row houses can get out back here, and maybe I'll put in some hedges to divide up the area so that each house has their own individual backyard or back garden. I think that'll look pretty nice in the future, with a nice rolling field surrounded by hedges and walls leading away from the row houses, and each row house with its own little back area for each owner to enjoy. And now I'm almost out of all the other types of stone that I originally started with. I'm just going to place down what I have left, and then I'm going to have to go get some more stone. Hi, this is me, getting more stone. And I'm back. Thankfully I have lots of moss to make this mossy cobble and mossy stone brick out of. Let's just keep on working and knock the rest of this project out. Here's the last block, and that's done. This is going to look pretty cool once I fill it in with moss. And speaking of filling it in with moss, that's going to be a long and arduous process, so let's just time-lapse this. figured I'd bring you back in for the last 4 blocks here. There we go. All done. Better put some lighting in here so stuff doesn't spawn. But I think I'm gonna call that here. I'm now gonna go place some rocks all over the place. That sounded a bit redundant. But I'm gonna put some rocks down because I want this to be a livestock field full of cows eventually. And I figure, from a lore perspective, why would they put cows in here instead of just farming it? So I figure, why not put a bunch of rocks in here? That means it's kind of hard to do any real farming in here and makes it much better for livestock. This is something you'll often see in real life. If an area is known for, say, dairy farming or cattle or something else, it's usually because the ground just isn't all that good for growing much. And animals usually don't care what they're eating as long as there is some grass. So if the ground's extra rocky or just poor at growing regular crops, you'll often see animals being farmed there instead. But now that you've had your mostly useless trivia for the day, let's just go over here one last time with some stone pressure plates to add some smaller rocks, so we can then get on to the last part of the video, where I add sort of a centerpiece to this field. That centerpiece is going to be a tree, sort of in the middle right there, to kind of frame the entire area up nicely. I'm going to use stone for the trunk, which might be a risky move, since the contrast against the other stones in the rest of the field might be a little bit not quite enough. But gonna risk it and see what happens. The trunk of this tree is sort of based off a picture I saw on Google Images at some point of how to make a cool Minecraft tree. I don't remember who made it, or even if what they made was original to them, but I'm sort of loosely following what I vaguely remember, so let's hope it turns out looking nice. I'm gonna have to remove these. These just aren't working. Let's put a more solid block down there. Another step. That's not too bad. And I think that's gonna have to go too. Might as well put a whole block in there. A couple of slabs since I don't have any actual whole blocks on me. And add another wall there, and a slab there, another wall there. And one more. Actually, one more after that. That's looking better. Just one more branch right here. And how does this look? It needs to be one lower. Just remove that top one, and I think we can call that good. Yeah, that's a pretty pleasing shape. I like that. Still a little worried about how it's going to contrast with the background, but let's put a top on it and find out. Okay, I am liking this. Welcome back, everybody, after that time lapse. Yep, this is definitely a good-looking tree. I did ultimately change out a few of the blocks for some darker, tough base blocks to help it stand out a little bit more. Add some edge shadow, I guess maybe you could call it. But I do like the droopy, wispy top of this tree. Sort of whimsical without being too crazy. Yeah, I'm glad I made this. This is cool. I think the mangrove leaves, as well as the darker birch leaves for shadowing, turned out really well. But as I stand here under my beautiful tree in the middle of my field, that's going to do it for this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will see you again next time. Have a good one.